Here we go. Yeah, I don't feel like playing Deep Hipster just yet. Do I feel like playing? Let's play some Freddy, since he may not be very fun to play soon. Get the Deep Hipsters some more points, why don't we? GMB Stallion. You know, maybe I should make a video while I'm streaming here. Might be a good idea. After this game, I'm going to make a little video talking about the new changes coming in. Because I kind of feel like I need to talk about it. Room did not last long at all. But this is why we bring Pop. goes my other totem. Totem's balanced, by the way. Oh. You know, I thought about it right as I was walking by the locker, but it was too late. But you did just reveal to me you don't have Dead Hard. Oh, that Dead Hard though. Nice. I actually got some use out of that snare I placed. Put a snare there. Cool. Wait, what? Whoa. Got disoriented. Bro, why is there such a big blood spurt? No, I don't know where Claudette went. I'm going to assume she went to a locker or something. Freddy OP, by the way. I only got 2 gens left. And this gen is over 3/4 done. Glad we're nerfing this killer, boys. This killer totally deserved a nerf. I'll get into that when I make the video, though. Because, once again, this is behavior up to their old shit. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, okay. Yep. That's just great. Shit. Okay. Oh. How are they able to disappear? I'm going to... I think this Claudette has Iron Will, but I can't be certain because I haven't been paying too much attention. I kind of had to run my ass off like I had this chicken just to keep these gens down. Oh no, Claudette wasn't the one over here. Okay, I learned. You're only gonna get me with that dead hard shit once usually. I was about to say, I swear, if she's in that locker. And she's right there. Keep this. Sorry, Claudette, but you guys have been a pain in my butt. And frankly, I feel like I've earned this one. That is if I don't lose you because you're using Iron Will, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you are. I can't slow her down because she's asleep. I mean, because she's not asleep. This here is already the problem with Freddy. And this is why I think the devs are smoking some really fine weed if they think that this killer is deserving of a nerf that much. Alright, do you have DS? No. Alright, so he's just chilling over there. I'm gonna get some extra points, so. So, I want to talk about that Freddy game that we just played there. Freddy has the highest kill rate among all the killers in the game by a decent margin, supposedly by the devs averaging 3 kills a game. And that is why, in the next patch, they will be making some changes to him. If you'll just give me a moment, I will pull up the changes and read them off to you. Pull that up. Okay, here we go. They're decreasing his movement speed. He currently moves 4.6 when he's placing a snare down to 4.0, which means he's losing a big chunk of movement speed when placing a snare. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like he places the snare and there's a delay, or if he only slows down while he's winding up the snare. I'm going to assume it's the second. So let's talk about that for a second. This change is either going to A, completely gimp his ability to chase, or B, not change him at all and just make him feel worse to play. In either scenario, Freddy's chase potential is not the best in the game, not by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it is still subpar to Clown's, despite the fact that Clown has to reload, because at least Clown can enhance his slowdown and duration of his slowdown. Now Freddy can stack multiple snares on a loop, and if you step on multiple of them, yes, it extends the duration of the slow, but that's about it. They're also decreasing the number of snares and dream pallets he can carry. For his snares from 8 to 5, and his dream pallets from 10 to 7. Now the thing is, they say they're doing this because they're supposedly trying to encourage him to use his snares outside of chase. How does decreasing the number of snares he has encourage him to use them outside of chase? If anything, you've basically damned him to only being able to use them in chase. 5 snares is not very much. If you're trying to if you're trying to have people pre-place them, which I already do, because I already felt that was the more effective way to play Freddy overall. Especially since if you need a snare, you can just pull one too, but if you place a few snares in some stronger loops, then sometimes you'll have a chase set up before they even get there. Much like the Hag. So yeah, that makes no sense to me. They're also changing all of his slowdown add-ons in order to change them from slowing the game down to increasing the noise of such actions. I'm okay with this. These, because everyone complained about Forever Freddy, and maybe when he first came out it was a legitimate thing, but now it's just a cop-out. Those add-ons are trash. If you look at the stats, they actually do pretty much nothing by themselves, and even if you stack them with a bunch of stuff, it's not even overpowered. It's just annoying, which is like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to miss those. Never used them anyway. This is the one I'm not very fond of. This is the biggest one. They're trying to encourage clocks to be used more, so they're making it to where whenever you use a clock, for 30 seconds afterward, Freddy cannot pull you into the dream world, even if he hits you. Currently, as you might have seen if you were watching that last game, which you will if you're on the YouTube video, in that last game, you saw that Claudette I was chasing near the end. While she was not asleep, she was almost uncatchable for me, because she had good loop after good loop after good loop. Now that map is just one of many, and that map is not getting reworked anytime soon, because it already has been reworked quite a few months ago. So, and I don't expect any major map rebalancing to come anytime in the future. outside of these map reworks. And it's it's just realistic to assume that the map is going to stay that way, and others like it. So anyway, you notice that during that whole time, now Claudette did juke me once or twice, like at the T-wall. She did really good using her iron will to her advantage. But at the same time, it was never in my favor. I would have never caught her if she hadn't fallen asleep. Or at least it would have taken me until I reached Bloodlust 2 or 3 to do it, because she had good stuff going. Now, that's already a huge downside to Freddy. If you use a clock to wake up, you're awake for over a whole minute and a half, and now they're trying to make you immune to sleep for 30 seconds in total. And so even if he does find you after you use a clock and hits you, he will still have no power. And then, if that happens, he will not get his power for the entire chase. He will have to leave you. Because unless he knows for a fact you're a bad survivor and he can catch you instantly, he will not get his power for the entire chase. That is incredibly stupid. It is absurd in every fashion. The killer, that is already the biggest point of why I think Freddy's not overpowered. The fact that if you use clocks, or if you make sure that you're awake before the chase begins with Freddy, Freddy cannot do anything to you. Dream pallets don't do a thing. Dream snares don't do a thing. And on top of that, he's just a normal killer at that point. The problem is, Freddy excels at one thing above all the other killers. And the stats are severely flawed for a lot of reasons. He is the best noob crusher killer strictly because he has good strength and he's easy to pick up, because unlike the other top tier killers, he's not really all that mechanically demanding, which, it's not a bad thing. It's not bad to have a killer that's good but be accessible for players, especially when that killer is a licensed killer and it brings money into the game for people to play him. Oh shit. Well, that's annoying as fuck. I hate it when the terrain sucks you in and you can't get around those corners. And again, corn's not too fun either. I waited too long and I can't stay on her anymore. But yeah, this is the super OP killer, by the way. The first hit was my fault, but you realize that's not there anymore. Oh wait, maybe it is. Oh no, I'm losing it. I'm too focused on what I'm trying to do here. Alright, dead hard? Yep. Oh. That was... That looked almost like she was turning during her dead hard. Very weird. Anyway. So yeah, he's really good at crushing newbies because he's scary and he has the snares and people don't understand how to deal with him. But his anti-loop is worse than Clown's because Clown can enhance the duration and the actual slowdown effect of his gas bottles with add-ons. Freddy has nothing to enhance his snares. His snares are always the same. They never change, except for when they turn into dream pallets, but at that point they're an entirely different ability. So, that's why it puzzles me that the devs are going by their stats, because, you see, according to that very same stat sheet that they're using to determine Freddy's overpowered and needs a nerf, according to them, Pig is more powerful than Oni, Pig is more powerful than Spirit, Pig is more powerful than everybody except Freddy. Now, if you are a player who's played around here for a minute, you know why that is patently ridiculous. Pig is one of the worst killers in the game, but guess what she also is? A noob stomper. Why is she a noob stomper? Because she can turn, because she has gen slowdown built into her kit. Gosh, these pallets are ridiculous. I can't see a thing in this corn. Thank goodness these maps are getting changed next. These maps are have always been ridiculous. Even Freddy has like the best visibility in farm maps, and even it sucks for him. These guys are shrugging off my hits like they're nothing, by the way. They're healing so quick. So yeah, at the end of the day, this killer still has a bunch of counterplay. More than a lot of killers do, really. Because not only is he forced to be Mr. M1 killer most of the time, but but he can be forced to be Mr. M1 killer with no power. Which has been like the #1 reason some killers have been bad in the past. And the fact that there was already a way to prevent him from having a power for up to a minute and a half at a time was already, or was it a minute? I can't remember the exact times on Freddy's sleep, so you'll forgive me. I need to do something. They have a lot of gen pressure right now. That didn't... Alright, sure, whatever. Alright, I need to get out of here. I somehow didn't get that hit. When I think that was probably one of the best damn swings I've ever seen, but... It's alright. I'll do what I can. But this is kind of what I'm talking about with Freddy. When it came to a good group of survivors, he's actually not that crazy. In fact, a lot of DBD content creators, Scott Junn, True Talent, and the like, feel like Freddy is a highly overrated killer. Because is he decent? Yes, he is. Is he top one of the upper tiers of killers? Probably. Is he #1 in the absolute game above Nurse, Spirit, and a couple others? No. Most certainly not. Bro, that's actually... Wait, what? Dude, why am I not... Why are there no footsteps? Can I have my footsteps back, divs? Like, that would just be great. Nice, Devour Hope came in handy. Devour Hope has got us some nice pressure right about now. Let's see if it lasts more than... Nope. Totem perks, very balanced. Yes. Wow, I lost both my totems at once. Like, can you believe that? Now, he only went down there because he got stubborn and didn't want to eat the snare, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure that's a pallet right there. Yeah, that snare shouldn't have inconvenienced him at all. Let's kick that down. Place a couple snares. But yeah, the devs definitely have a bit of a idealistic view when it comes to who should be putting in effort in the game. Because it feels like ease of use is why Freddy is working so well, because he's able to crush at all levels. Like, Spirit and Nurse, you're not going to do very well with them unless you're decent at the game. Do it. I hate these tractors, dude. That is such a dumb loop. It can be used infinitely because you can't get rid of it like it's because there's no pallet there. I like placing snares in tall grass. Those things are damn near invisible. Why are there no scratch marks? I've even brightened the scratch marks a lot. And there were no scratch marks there still. Why are there no scratch marks? And no footstep noises. No grunts of pain. Pretty sure I just lost the game. In fact, yes, I have lost. As Mr. OP averages 3 kills Freddy, by the way. This is why the devs need to stop. They need to stop rebalancing, quote-unquote, the game until they actually get this MMR system of theirs up and running. Because the devs can't be trusted to make good decisions if they don't have good data, because they don't want to listen to us when we tell them things. But at the same time, they want to listen to the stats, despite the fact that it's funny because they made a crack about how Nurse obviously doesn't need a buff. Stats say that she needs a buff, technically, because she has the lowest kill rate in the game. But we all know that's not true. They make that joke, and yet they're sitting here using the stats as gospel for nerfing Freddy. You cannot be selective like this, devs. If by some chance one of you is watching this, you need to stop being so selective. Either you go by the stats and actually make changes based around the stats, which you should not do, because you know, I believe it was Scott Jund who said, and I kind of agree with this. I don't agree with him on a few things, but I agree with him on this one. When it comes to stats, you should not be using the stats as justification for doing everything. You should not nerf just off and change things because the stats say so. You should use the stats to identify that something is amiss, something is not in order here, and then use the stats to determine what is out of order and fix it. The problem is you're not doing that at all. In fact, what you're doing is you're just knee-jerk reacting, which is hilarious because you've had plenty of time to study the killer, but all you're doing is making it super easy to counterplay him for no fucking reason. He already has plenty of counters, devs. I mean, as you can see here, it is not hard for a decent group of survivors to survive this killer. At no point did this killer feel like he was as good in chase as even Clown. Because my snares don't come into effect that often. Because if you just spam snares on a point, people can just move. Or they can just camp the pallet. Spamming snares at a loop, if this loop is not completely unsafe, doesn't do anything at all. Because all they'll do is, just like Clown, they will stay at that pallet if they're smart, and they will camp it, and they will make sure that you break it, and move to the next loop before you break it, and then all the snares you placed just went to waste. So, yeah, they have a few other changes, but I'm sticking this to Freddy, because I feel like out of all the changes, there's 2 changes that I feel like are really poor choice. One is the Freddy changes, which I have gone over here. And yeah, I feel like the devs need to really wake up and smell the roses a little bit, because this killer is overrated as hell. He does not need a nerf because he is not even the most powerful killer in the game. No killer in this game is nerf worthy in the current state of the game. And what they need to be doing instead is focusing their efforts on bridging the gap between solos and survive with friends. That way, whenever they can truly see just how far off balance this game really is, they can actually make some changes to the weaker roster in order to bring them up, and maybe make some core changes in order to make it to where it's a bit more fluid overall. Because even the strongest killers can't deal with the strongest stuff survivors have right now, as the DPIP squad has proven in the past, and from what I hear, they've been added again quite recently, showing just how stupid gen speeds are. Anyway, but that's not the point of this video. The point was to basically go on a little, I don't know, I guess it's a mini rant about why I don't feel like the devs are doing a very good job at balancing this game, and I feel like when it comes to killers, they're too hasty, especially with Freddy, because this is exactly what happened to him in the past. I don't think this is going to result the same way it did before, but at the same time, a killer shouldn't be made worse to play just because a few noobs can't handle it, especially since you should be sectioning off different skill levels, which this game does not do, which is why the stats are higher than they actually are. Anyway, thank you all for coming out and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will try to bring you some more content soon. They have, for the people on my channel who watch my Paladin stuff, there is a double Champion XP weekend coming up. I have to work Friday, but at least I'll be able to stream a little bit in the morning. And once that and I'll be streaming a little bit over the weekend, trying to get Octavia Golden, so that'll be fun. So, once again, thank you for coming out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.